Welcome in to another edition of the JMU Sports News Podcast. I am Bennett Conlon, joined by Jack Fitzpatrick, and this is game week.
Love what we do here at JMU Sports News? Help fuel the show. For the price of a coffee, you can support us directly at buymeacoffee.com/JMU Sports News. Every quote-unquote cup helps us bring you more Dukes coverage, interviews, and insight. So if you enjoy the show, consider buying us a coffee today. Thank you so much. Buymeacoffee.com/JMU Sports News. We appreciate each and every one of them and all of your support. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Game week. Are you feeling a little under the weather, Bennett?
Yeah, man, I'm battling a cold right now, which is a bit of a struggle, but ready to go, ready to play if needed.
Oh, man, this is a flu game for you. This is a big one.
Yeah.
You better get ready before we're at Weber State this weekend.
I got a few days. I'm on the tail end of it.
A lot of liquids, man. A lot of liquids. Can I tell you one thing? Emergency is very nice. I'm a big emergency believer. Yeah. I highly recommend Emergency.
Many people do. It's a great product. We're sponsored by Emergency this year.
Could you imagine? I wonder how much Emergency Alonzo Barnett III took during this rehab process.
It's impressive that this man is cleared for contact.
So, do you want to just dive into that today? Just right at the top, Alonzo Barnett being cleared for contact?
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, he's officially cleared for contact. Last week, I guess, Chesney had said that they switched him into the black jersey because he felt a little bit self-conscious in the red, right? Maybe black's a little more slimming. I don't know what Chesney was saying, but he essentially said he wanted to change for the heck of it. And turns out he's actually cleared for contact, and that's why they switched jerseys. So he's ready to play.
Are you looking for deeper insight into JMU football? Check out To The House, part of the JMU Sports News Network. Brand new look, brand new sound this season. Hosted by former JMU quarterback Vad Lee and JMU Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce. They'll take you inside the huddle every week with game recaps, previews, and player perspective you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe today to the JMU Sports News Podcast Network and stay game day ready with To The House. Want to rep the Dukes in the best vintage gear out there? Home Field Apparel has you covered with premium JMU designs you won't find in the bookstore. Whether it's tailgates, watch parties, or just everyday flexing your purple and gold pride, Home Field is the way to go. Use the link in our episode description to grab your JMU swag today. Our link down in the episode description. Get your JMU swag today.
But he's ready to go. It seems like there's a real possibility he starts week one, which is still kind of insane given the timeline. It's on the very front edge of when a player would be ready to go back, and he's right there, I guess.
He's been cleared now, though. He's technically been cleared prior to that. If there was a game, if there was a game, if they played week 0, he would have been ready to go for week 0. That is what he is saying by the black jersey last week, which is insane because what we heard, and it's the only thing that was public around Alonzo Barnett's injury, was what Phil Steele told you during, or I guess he said it in a Twitter reply when his Phil Steele book came out. He put Alonzo as the starter. And we kind of called attention to it. Phil Steele then responds, and he's saying something along the lines of it's out of respect for Alonza. Coach told me he tore his ACL in the final play of the regular season. And then what we learned was he then had surgery at the beginning of December. And so with everything that we had known, with all of the historical trends that are out there, whether it's a quarterback, a running back, an offensive lineman, a safety, whatever it may be, a recovery for an ACL takes 9 to 12 months. That is the pretty agreed upon timeline it takes to recover from an ACL. Even Chesney said that at JMU Football Media Day. He said, his knee probably will get cleared within the next couple of weeks at around 8 or 9 months, and he's cleared to go. But we all know it won't be fully back to where it was or even stronger to where it was until it's 12 months or 15 months down the road. So even Chesney's talking about that. So I just want to get that out of the way. I want to see Alonzo Barnett succeed, but a lot of people right now, and rightfully so, we were pretty vocal about it. We were vocal about how we do not think Alonzo Barnett will be the week 1 starter. But it's not because we were haters of Alonzo Barnett and we want to see him fail. It was based off of the fact that all of the historical trends we have ever seen with an ACL injury, outside of Adrian Peterson, it is a 9-month at least timeline. Now, that then throws a wrench into it. It's a Herculean effort from Alonzo Barnett to get back to where we are. But the fact that the only information we have was from Phil Steele saying he tore his ACL. Could have been a partial tear. Could have been a meniscus. Could have been anything else. We don't know because nothing was freaking said about this. And so we were going with the information we had. And Alonzo Barnett, Herculean effort to come back and be ready by week 1. Still not sure, and this is the first time I've ever felt comfortable saying this, still not sure who the quarterback 1 is. Now, granted, the last 2 times I was sure, it was Jordan McLeod and Dylan Morris, and I was wrong on both of those fronts, but you know what I'm saying.
But wrong with a caveat, and this is not hating, but like I want to see week 1, I want to see week 2, I want to see week 3 before I'm apologizing about any offseason takes.
Well, I'm not apologizing because we were working under the assumption that he tore his ACL, and like. I don't think I forget, it was Sidelines JMU, and maybe I'm taking a little too much offense to this, but responded like, "What Duke's mayo you're having when you eat your crow?" Nothing. I'm not eating my freaking crow, man. Like I was working under the assumptions that were given to me. Sorry.
No, I also like it seems like from I guess what we've heard now and all that maybe he could realistically start week 1. He still hasn't actually done that yet. So I want to see that happen. I want to see him play a football game before I'm like, yep, you're right. I was wrong about the knee. Because I do want to see if it's strong. I want to see how he looks. He did have some offseason development, obviously, and everyone's going to talk about like mental reps. And he was going through fall camp. He was going through everything. But he did miss like the spring. And he had some clear flaws that were evident throughout 2024. Like his highs were incredible, but the consistency wasn't always there. There was stuff with like his cadence that they said was an issue. He struggled at times to get out of pressure, which is maybe because he was dealing with some ankle injuries. His accuracy throughout the year kind of went up and down. I know we'll talk about sort of what he looked like in the middle of the season when he was dealing with the ankle injuries and that sort of stuff. But like, I'm surprised if he starts week 1 because he will have beaten out 2 FCS stars in Matthew Sluka and Camden Coleman, while also like juggling with the fact that he was rehabbing from his knee. To me, that would be surprising. Not a negative, not a bad thing. I'm not hating. I'm impressed by it, but I will be surprised if he's the guy for the whole season. Like that would be very surprising given everything he went through. And when they added 2 quarterbacks, that was a pretty clear decision or like, right, a message that they weren't sure this was going to happen in December.
It's so interesting. Like genuinely so, because yeah, like you said, they added 2 quarterbacks. That was indicating to us that they don't expect Alonzo Barnett to be ready. And now he's cleared. Still not sure if he's necessarily ready to go week 1. And if he does go week 1, that is absolutely awesome. But there are still some questions around it. And Bennett, you brought up the ankle thing in the middle of the season. That's the part too, where it's just like, now we're assuming he's cleared, which means he'll be ready to go for week 1, right? On a knee, that has been surgically reconstructed. Well, last year, when he was double spatting his ankles, when he was having ankle injuries throughout all of the middle of the season, it roughly was the ULM game, and then so week 6 through 9, up until the second bye week the team had going into Georgia State, he was struggling with some ankle injuries. And when his mobility was impacted, and now Alonzo Barnett's not like an elite running quarterback that's going to scramble a ton, but he did rely on his legs to move around, and he did have that dual threat capability where he was able to run a little bit, and teams would have to respect that. When he was double spatting his ankles last year, his efficiency, his PFF grade dropped drastically, dropped like lead in a frickin' lake, man. During weeks 6 through 9, dealing with that injury, he ranked 13th out of 16 Sun Belt passers who took 20% of the team's snaps during that time in passing grade. He ranked 12th out of 16 in offensive grade, and he ranked 13th out of 16 in rushing grade. The only quarterbacks that ranked worse than him during that stretch was J.C. French, Christian Viu, and Matthew Caldwell, the quarterbacks at Southern, State, and Troy. So it's insane to just assume that now that he's cleared, he'll be ready to go and be 100% week one, because last year when he was struggling with injuries, he did struggle. And there were some big parts of his game that I thought needed live reps to get better at. Like his pressure to sack ratio was one of the worst in all of the Sun Belt. He did have some turnover worthy plays. I would like to see that kind of figured out as well. Like there are some things that I think live reps were very necessary for him. I think he got them in the fall. Don't think he got them in the spring. And so just to assume that he's cleared means he's QB1, I don't think is the right way to look at this whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's another situation where I think it could be just a year long. They need that room to perform well, and it's less so like the guy. And I don't know that the team or fans are necessarily. I'm sure fans will have like their takes of who should be the guy throughout the season, because that's kind of what fans do. But I feel like if the room plays well, they have a chance to have a really special season, and that's where like 2023, Barnett was the guy. He like had the best camp according to Signetti. Struggling against Bucknell, we don't need to rehash that. But McLeod came in, was ready to go, played really well that season, won Sun Belt Player of the Year. He was phenomenal and had a great season, and it was one of the best seasons in program history for the team. So he came in and made it work. Last year, I think Chesney had told you, the interviews are blending together at this point, but I think he told you that like during the middle of the season when he was dealing with ankle stuff, they would have liked to have played Dylan Morris, and Dylan Morris's arm didn't function, was essentially the summation of the quote. So like that's another one where they would have liked to have used two last year. They've used two at Holy Cross before when Sluka would get banged up. So I do think they're going to need multiple guys this year at quarterback. So getting Alonza cleared is huge because you have him as an option. You have Sluka as an option. You have Camden Coleman. It's, I would say, the best position group, the best quarterback room in the Sun Belt. They have the depth. They have multiple guys. So who they go with for which week, whatever, I don't think is the biggest deal. They just need one of them or two of them to sort of excel in their roles, which is doable. But yeah, it's fair to have questions about Barnett because like he wasn't unstoppable last year. He was very, very good. But there are still questions about him when we talk about them winning the playoff, or not winning the playoff, making the playoff, winning the Sun Belt, right? When we talk about that level of quarterback play, we're not talking about like what Alonzo needs to do to go 6-6.
Or even to win the Sun Belt. Like there is a route out there where you win the Sun Belt and you're not the group of 6 representative in the college football playoff. Yeah. You could go 5-3 in the Sun Belt this year, especially in the East, and you probably will be the representative out of the East in the Sun Belt, like championship game. So there's a difference between what level of quarterback play JMU needs this season to win the Sun Belt and what level of quarterback play they need in order to win, or I guess to be that group of 6 champion to make it into the college football playoff. Like, one of his biggest flaws last year was his pressure to sack ratio. It was just a shade under 30%. So 30% of the time when pressure got in his face, it ended up in a sack. He had 116 dropbacks last season where he got pressured. He was sacked on 34 of them, which is a extremely high number, and that is very worrisome. And that's something he has to figure out how to get through. And a lot of those sacks came when he was hurt with his double spatted ankles. Sure. So it's just like, now he's going into this season with a half functional knee, 75% functional knee. It just worries me. I want to see him succeed, though. Let me say that. Like, it would be awesome to see this guy make a Herculean effort to come back. He's defied the odds not once, but twice in his career with the Jordan McLeod coming back from benching, all of that. Last year, they bring in another P4 transfer. He overcomes that. He wins that battle, and he goes on to have a fantastic year. He helps put up 70 against UNC. Like, now he's decided to come back to JMU while rehabbing this injury. Like, could very well be a JMU lifer, could very well do some things that are just absolutely crazy, very well could end up being in a lot of record books for JMU. I want to see him succeed. But also, I think it is very important that we take a step back and go, what he is doing is crazy, that no one expected, not even the coaches, because if the coaches expected this, they wouldn't have brought in 2 transfer quarterbacks. I fully believe that. 2 starting quality quarterbacks in the transfer portal. And, like, I want to see him succeed, but it'll be, I hope he does, and I hope he goes out there and he's Sun Belt Player of the Year. It's just there's a lot of red flags being raised for me right now in this instant.
Which I think is fair, and it's not like hating. Like, I just think that I have a lot of questions about the position group. I think it's a good position group. I'm just curious to see how it works out.
It's also a little worrisome, and you brought this up, so I apologize for kind of stealing this. But it's a little worrisome that Camden and Sluka, neither one like pulled away. Granted, they maybe could have, and Chesney just is doing this whole game. Can I talk about gamesmanship real quick? One, not releasing a 2-deep. That's Bush League. I get that that's the trend going around, and now that there's going to be availability reports. Why are you kneecapping the thing that got your fan base excited each and every week? Coaches already know you're 2-deep. They've watched film. They know what you're doing. You could have put an or at literally every single position, and Bennett and I would not have cared. We would have eaten that thing up and been like, this is awesome. Football's back. Let's go. Let's dive into this. Like, taking that away from your fans, dumb. Like, come on. I hate that. Secondly, gamesmanship is fake. In the NFL, you know what we know today? We know the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints is Spencer Rattler after a quarterback competition with Tyler Shuck. We know Russell Wilson's going to be the Giants quarterback in week 1 after a competition with Jackson Dart. We know that Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts after a competition with Anthony Richardson. Because coaches understand in the end, if there was any sort of edge to be gained by hiding who your starting quarterback is, you know who would be doing that? NFL head coaches. There's no advantage to be gained in this. That's my side note. I forgot even what the other one. It's a little worrisome that neither quarterback pulled away from another quarterback who couldn't use his leg for all of camp and was in a bright red jersey, which made him feel left out.
Yeah, I have some questions. I have questions about the quarterback room, that's all. But we'll get some of them answered this week, not all of them. I don't think it's hating to kind of be confused by how the position is going. I think that's like a normal, fair thing. They got options. They have options. It's just a matter of what they're gonna do. And I'm interested to see it. That's all.
I agree. I want to see Alonzo Barnett succeed. Be awesome if he's the starter. Would also be awesome if Sluka's the starter or Camden Coleman. All of them have fantastic storylines. All of them, I feel like, are capable quarterbacks. Very, very interested to see how it all plays out in that room.
We'll see. All right, should we do big picture kind of expectations?
Hit me.
I got a column coming out in the morning.
Plug.
I think it's Sun Belt Championship or bust.
Yes, I agree. I don't think it's college football playoff or bust.
No.
I think it's Sun Belt champion or bust. Like, we were talking with our friend Dom over text, and he's like, the Louisville game's a must-win. That is such an important game. And while I agree for college football playoff hopes, me personally,
I don't even think that's a must-win for playoff hopes.
I think it'd be a very, 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 very,
it would help, but like
it would help a ton.
If you go 12-1, only lost Louisville, you're a Sun Belt champ. I think you're very much in play.
That's true, but at the same time, like my expectation for this team is to win the Sun Belt championship, and that Louisville game, I'm just like that'd be really fun to win, but I'm not like I'm not gonna be watch me say this, and then after the Louisville game, I'm gonna come on the podcast and be like I'm absolutely heartbroken after this loss, but like here preseason. I would not be heartbroken if that's lost.
No, I mean, it's probably the deepest roster in program history, which is like, we're really looking at like a 4 year span, right? Because the scholarship limit goes up when you go to the FBS, so you can have more scholarships, and of course you should have a better, deeper roster within FBS rules compared to FCS. But it's probably the deepest roster they've ever had. They're legit 3 deep at quarterback. Like, J.C. Evans is a talented young prospect doing some good stuff, and he's like, what, probably QB4? Not really in the mix.
Don't disrespect Blake Kendall, QB5 like that.
That's right.
They're
deep at running back. Offensive line looks good. Defensive front, they added a bunch of guys. Every position is deep. They're very talented. They have a coaching staff that I think is expected that many of them will be at the P4 level in the future. Colin Hischler was, right? He's coming from Cincinnati and Alabama and Wisconsin. So he's been coaching at some high-level programs, a new defensive coordinator. They have a really good home field advantage, right? They've won a lot of games in Bridgeforth over the years. App State has a new coach and a roster turnover. Marshall, new coach, roster turnover. Georgia Southern, like, They didn't do anything crazy in the portal. They're a good team, but they're like still running it back with JC French, which is a risk, I would say. And then you've got like Georgia State rebuild mode. Who else do you have that's in the East? Nobody's scary in the East. Like, the East just doesn't seem particularly scary this year. I think it's scarier most seasons. Not terrifying this year. The West, you don't have to win the West to get into the championship game. And the West doesn't seem like they have any juggernauts. Louisiana and Texas State should be good, but nobody's crazy.
Yeah. It lines up really well for Jay. Like, you're right. It's Sun Belt Championship, or especially, like, after a 4-4 season last year in Sun Belt play. You started off red hot. You were 4-0, all the expectations, and then you kind of fall on your face in Sun Belt play. You struggle on the road in Sun Belt play, getting blown out against Georgia Southern, losing a horrible game against ULM, and it was the first year you were eligible to play in the Sun Belt Championship, right? Like, you had expectations after winning the East technically in year 1 and year 2 of being in the Sun Belt. Like, it was a little bit of a disappointment that last year, and I think it adds more pressure on having a successful 2025 in the Sun Belt by winning the whole thing. Like, I don't think it's winning the East is the expectation. It's winning the dang championship.
Yeah, I also think, like, Chesney, given how good he's been, there's a realistic chance that he goes to a P4 in the offseason. If he leaves for a Power 4 conference, like, you want to get a championship out of the dude. Like, you don't want to go 9-4 twice with a couple Boca Raton bowls. Like, that's not as meaningful as winning a championship, obviously. You'd like to get something out of Chesney, like, that sticks and is long-lasting more than, like, first bowl win before he leaves.
Yeah, and, like, it's very likely that he leaves this offseason with probably UVA opening and probably Virginia Tech opening, right? Like, that's 2 Commonwealth teams that will probably make a call right on over to him to see if there's any type of availability for Chesney.
Yeah, I mean, good chance they're looking for a coach. You got to take something out of this year. It's an incredible roster. The coaching staff is good. Again, home field advantage is great. Like, you got to do something big.
All right, so expectations: win the Sun Belt. Let's move on over. Win the Sun, not win the East. Win the Sun Belt. Let's move over to the schedule and how it lays out, because JMU was gifted a schedule from the scheduling gods that lines up really well to then exceed the expectations and make a college football playoff, right? You're playing the top 2 teams in the West, expected preseason-wise. Mm-hmm. You're playing a Louisville team that's in the top. I think they were picked top 5 or top 6 in the ACC. And then, of course, you've got your home slate. You've got the East that you're playing. That's something that you can't really change all that much. But, like, you have a Liberty, an in-state team that can get a lot of in-state bragging rights. Another team that is probably jostling for that group of 6 spot in the college football playoff. The schedule lines up nicely for JMU.
Yeah, they got chances. Washington State's a sick November home game. Like, they got plenty of chances to go out and make some statements and make a run at the playoff. They better bring it early with Louisville, Liberty, and Georgia Southern, teams that you're seeing before the calendar flips to October. That's going to be a test. That's going to be a tough schedule. But it puts them in position if they can win a lot of games to, maybe make the playoff, like you said, which is exciting. And they have this tune-up with Weber State, where I've seen some fans who are like, "Oh, you got to put up 50, and you got to shut them out." I don't really think this game matters that much. Like, you have to win it. But they put up 13 against Gardner-Webb and then dropped 70 on UNC after a bye and looked pretty good, and were in position to contend for whatever they needed to contend for last year before falling on their face. So really, you just got to, like, win the Weber State game. I don't think the Weber State game is like a statement game or anything. Like, certainly if you come out and look good, that's great. But you got to just, like, get guys reps and figure the heck out.
Can I ask you a question on it then?
Yeah.
What if it's between you and another group of 6 team, let's say Boise, and
Sure.
they won their FCS game by 45 and JMU won theirs by 20? Does that play into it at all, do you think? Or do they really just throw out the FCS and they're like, well, what'd you do against FBS teams?
I don't think that matters at all. Like, I don't think people are looking at the Weber State as like a major like a point of reference for anything.
Yeah. Okay.
They should win that game. I mean, if you look ugly in it, sure, maybe it's like if Gardner-Webb wouldn't have helped them last year if they were trying to get into the playoffs, certainly. I just don't think, like, you have so many other opportunities that I find it hard to believe that, like, beating Weber State by 30 instead of 17 would make a difference if you also, like, beat Louisville and Liberty. Like, it won't matter if you do what you're supposed to do the rest of the year, in my opinion. So this is one where the other thing I was interested in your take on this. People have said that Alonza could rest in this game and then start against Louisville, which is, to me, is a crazy take. Like, I feel like if you want Alonza against Louisville, I need to see 3/4 of Alonza. I want to see him getting game reps. I want to see him trusting his knee again. I don't think there's any world where he sits this one out and then starts against Louisville. That would be crazy.
Yeah, you and I are in the same boat on that because I'm right there with you. Where if I even saw our guy Daniel Merriman, I love Daniel. I do want to call him out here too because he was one of the guys saying
that one, didn't he?
I think his take was more of like, I'd love to see him for a series or two. I've seen that out there as well, not just Daniel, but some other people. Like, I'd love to see Alonzo for a series or two, then sit him.
Why would you take him out?
He needs the game reps. Like, he's down a spring, and for all of the talk of us saying, like, during the sessions that were open to media, everyone was like, Alonza was doing the same exact work as the other quarterbacks. He's going to be ready to go week 1. He's been doing all the same work. We don't know that because they close practice and they have a full other, like, 45 minutes behind closed doors. The
practice part, yeah.
Yeah, the practice part where he was wearing a red jersey. So he was not taking any live reps because, again, he was wearing the red jersey, right, which is different from the black jersey. So, like, he needs reps. He didn't get, like, those reps in camp up until a week ago. So I would love to see him play all 4 quarters, testing out the knee. Let's do some QB draws. Let's see what the limitations are. How far can we push this knee? How much can he handle in this offense? And then we know for Louisville what we can do or can't do in Louisville. This isn't going to be, let's start Sluka week 1, then Alonzo week 2. Let's go Cam week 3, then back to Sluka week 4. That's not what this is going to be. Whoever starts week 1 against Weber is going to start week 2 against Louisville, and week 3, and week 4, and week 5, and week 6, and week 7, and week 8, and week 9, and week 10, and so on and so forth.
In theory, at least, that's what you'd hope. But I also think the other thing that's crazy is, like, Alonzo's a notoriously slow starter. Like, the Bucknell performance in his first career start is one of the worst QB performances the JMU player has had since we've covered the team. It's up there with the DiNucci 5 picks against Colgate. Like, it was horrendous. And then last year against Charlotte and Gardner-Webb, it was fine, and there were flashes, but it wasn't great. And the first half against Charlotte was not great. So you're telling me you want the guy who's, like, started slow throughout his career to start his season against an ACC defense on the road on a Friday night? That's insane.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Get him as many reps as possible.
And, like, everyone needs the reps.
Everyone needs reps, but, like, also with Alonzo, I want to see what the knee can and can't do. Like,
and all the receivers are new. Yeah, it's like
we need data.
If he's your guy, you need him now. And then if you have a Sluka package, you got to at least trot out your Sluka package against Weber State. Like, you have to get some, because he hasn't played football in a year either, essentially, because he had the NIL dispute. Yeah. So, like, you need him out there getting, like, I want your quarterbacks to play in the game, so then you feel like you're ready to go against Louisville. This isn't like a preseason game to me. It's very much like a game where I want to see what the guys got. Like, go out and play. I mean, the result shouldn't be in jeopardy. So hopefully they don't treat it like a Super Bowl, but the game shouldn't be in jeopardy, and you need to get guys reps in, like, a game setting without too much pressure.
Yeah, I agree. All right, anything else you want to hit before we go to listener questions?
No, I don't think so. It's just going to be an exciting season. I don't want to be too negative in the first one, but I have People are going to say we're negative because every other podcast is just like they're already throwing streamers, man. But anyway,
I'm ready to throw streamers. We'll be throwing them a lot this season. This is
I like
to
to
be
throw
a
them on
good
game
team.
days, though.
Yeah, I throw them on game days. I'm critical throughout the week, and I'm very excited to see whoever's QB1. I'm very excited to see this team be a wagon in Sunbelt play, and I cannot wait to be watching the Louisville game while on my phone at cocktail hour at someone's wedding.
That's tough. I also they should be great in the trenches. The running back room's incredible. So I'm excited to see how it looks.
Vad Lee brought this up onto the house. We didn't even mention we did mention it. There's an ad playing at the beginning of the show that forgot to mention that. But Vad brought that up too, where what were we just saying?
The running back room.
Oh yeah, the running back room. It doesn't matter. It matters.
We need game reps.
It matters how many. It matters how good the quarterback is to a point.
Yeah.
But like, if the offensive line does its job with that running game, you could have a Trent Dilfer type of performance where like
it'd be fine. Yeah,
you could put me back there as long as you can hand the ball off effectively to Io, Petaway, Joby, Jordan Fuller, or Wayne Knight. You're gonna be fine.
Fuller did a Dave Riggeder interview that had me cracking up. I guess he did it like this week, and they were asking him about going to the gym and stuff. And he was saying he used to do it when he was like 10 years old. He would have his mom, like in the grocery store, be like, "Give me an exercise," and he just like drop down and do push-ups, which is so funny. So he's a beast, man. They got some big guys.
Could you imagine picking out your soup for the week, and then you're going down the aisle, and then you just see a 10-year-old doing like burpees?
He's a funny guy. They got some good players. I'm excited to see how it looks.
Psychos.
I think it'll be exciting.
They got some psychos. Nick DeGennaro and Jordan Fuller are up there.
They're definitely up there.
All right. Question number 1 comes from Daniel Merriman, our guy. Biggest surprise week 1 standout. This is tough. I feel like we've talked about so many guys so often. Maybe it'll be a guy like Justin Eaglin with like 2 interceptions.
Okay. I like that one. I think it's going to be one of the slot guys because I feel like we're talking a lot about DeGennaro as we should. Isaiah Alston, Landon Ellis getting some love. Maybe not as much as some of the other guys. But like Sanchez, Michael Scott, Raiden Wislowski from Maryland. He's been getting a lot of love. They got some speedy guys in the slot. So I think they'll be interesting to watch. Michael Scott also did a Riggeder interview recently. He like didn't lift in high school. He'd just like show up on game days and cook people. And he's like, yeah, I'm like, all my maxes went up like 100 plus pounds. And Dave was like, well, you didn't even really have max. He's like, yeah, it's true.
Wait, who said that?
Dave was like, well, you probably didn't really have a max if you weren't lifting. He's like, yeah, well.
No, to what player? What player said that?
Michael Scott. Mikey Scott, the freshman slot. Who's like 5'9", like 160. So it checks out that he wasn't like a weight room junkie in high school.
Huh. I asked a couple of guys at JMU Football Day, I was like, do you call him the human joystick? And a couple of them laughed, and they were like, no. And then, I forget who it was, but they said, he said, like...
He's very funny.
They were like, I kind of laughed at him for that nickname. Then we went out, and we were doing, like, routes on DBs, and he cooked. I forget who he cooked. And he goes, took him out of his shoes, and I was like, oh. That's why they call you the human joystick. It's
funny to listen to him because he's like one of the newer generation. Like he's super young compared to them. He's talking about how Nick DeGennaro is 24 and he was 17, and he's like kind of weird to be like in the same room as him. It's like you're an adult and I'm not. But everything he brings up, Dave was like, oh, you like watch a lot of film and stuff. He's like, I'm always looking on TikTok for film. Like he's just always talking about TikTok, and he's like, yeah, I had this great move where I cooked this guy in camp or practice, put it on TikTok, which is probably a mistake. And then apparently somebody laid him out. It was like Kai Holmes or someone later, like in next practice, laid him out, and they were like, put that on TikTok. So they're all messing with the youngster, which I thought was funny.
That's awesome. Next question. This one's from Duke Dog's Burner. You ready for it?
Yes.
Will the pool party be a pregame thing or a halftime thing? I'm assuming the name game's the other.
I will say that I think they're going to be better this year because there's a lot less brotherhood talk. There's still a lot of brotherhood talk. But last year it was basically like, how do you think you're going to be this year? And like, I know everybody's name. I was like, right. But like, when you guys suit up and you play football, how is that going to look? And they're like, the brotherhood. It's just unbelievable. Now they're talking more about like, yeah, we're deep at receiver. We go 7. So I think they're going to actually be like a really good football team because they're talking a little less about their friendships and more about like, yeah, we go 7 deep at wideout.
I asked someone else at JMU Football Media Day when I was there for ESPN Richmond. I was like, do you guys still play that? Is that still a thing? No one talks about that anymore. And they were very excited to tell me that Lakota, the Charlotte tight end transfer, got every single name of every single guy on the team correct the day before. And I was like, all right, so you still play that. All right, that's interesting. Good to know. James
He's the
Turner.
first one I've ever heard who's actually played the name game.
Thank you. That's the other crazy part. They played it every night, but no one played it, which statistically speaking, pretty impossible for that to work out. James Turner, which is a very weird question for James. Maybe this is a Weber State inside guy, you know. I'm a little questioning. He's only following one person, no followers for himself. And he asked, you're Weber State's offensive coordinator. What's your game plan for Saturday? How are you going to primarily move the ball? Then let's flip it. You're the DC of Weber State. What's the strategy? Fun one. How many Weber State fans will be in Bridgeforth? Over, under 30 fans, not including families.
That's kind of a funny question. How many Weber State fans? I don't know. I can't imagine there's a ton given the like cross-country trip, and that's excluded family. So I don't know. For the game plan against JMU, I don't really know what JMU's defense is going to look like. I would probably test. I feel like the game plan the last few years has been like test the corners. I feel like that's still the game plan. If you can get one-on-one with the corner, hit some deep shots, maybe that's your plan. In terms of trying to stop JMU's offense, blitz the heck out of whoever's QB1, right? I mean, especially if it's Barnett coming off a knee injury, I think my entire game plan would be to just like pressure, and see if he can handle it. Because last year, his ankles were banged up. Sunbelt teams blitzed, and they had no answers for weeks on end. Like they knew the blitzes were coming, and they couldn't do anything about it. So that would be my plan.
I like that. Weber State, you just got to hope you're going to get chunk plays. If I'm the OC, just cross your fingers that like 3 chunk plays hit in the first quarter and you're like going blow for blow. If you're the DC, blitz like shit. Like just blitz. Like you're not
so hard to watch last year in the middle of the season.
I don't think you have the firepower to go like 4 rushing and then just playing man on the back end. Or zone or whatever it is that you decide to do. You don't have the manpower to do that for 4 quarters. It's going to break. So blitz. Just
stacking the box and blitzing. Yeah.
Try to create turnovers. This is from Mace Winduke. The JMU Marvel game. What are some other game day collaborations you would like to see? Wild or realistic?
Oh.
I would love to see a Bucky's JMU collaboration.
That'd be kind of fun, yeah.
I would like to see an Indiana Jones JMU collaboration. I would like to see
got a list.
a Seattle Seahawks and JMU collaboration.
I think Bucky's would be good. I think like instead of any of the food or anything like that, it's just they like clean the heck out of the bathrooms. Like bathrooms are spotless for 1 week. That'd be funny. They bring in like porta potties, but they're like super clean, brand new.
All right. This is from JMU_71. Do all the QBs play this weekend as we hang 50 plus on Weber? Does Joby run for over 100 while getting most of the carries in the second half?
There's a pretty good chance that we come on next week and I'm just frustrated by whatever happened with the quarterbacks and the running backs. I feel like we're going to be annoyed by Joby's lack of playing time, and I feel like I'm going to be confused by the quarterback room. I don't think they'll play like Coleman. My guess would be if they think Barnett and Sluka are their top 2, they would try to redshirt Coleman so they wouldn't force him in. Maybe they get JC if they go 3 deep though, because he's already used a redshirt.
Yeah. I think we'll probably see 3 quarterbacks, Sluka, JC, and Alonzo Barnett in this game. Probably JC coming in the 4th quarter mop-up duty. I do think JMU wins this game like 50-17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm not going to be like last year with the Gardner-Webb. I'll be frustrated if they don't win a game like that, but I won't be as panicky. But I would want to see the offense roll pretty steadily with whoever's at quarterback. Does Joby run for over 100? they've got so many guys. I hope Joby's not a running back that's getting like fourth quarter garbage time mop up duty, because that would break my heart for the second year in a row.
It's possible, but it sounded like from what we had heard that he had a great off season. Man, he's ready to go. He knows the scheme more than he did.
Zachary Baker asked, with AB3 cleared for contact, is it truly realistic that he could start? Zach, I recommend you rewind to the beginning of this show and re-listen to. Like, it is realistic. It is realistic,
which is crazy.
He's cleared. Like, he is ready to go. But we don't know much more than that. A lot of the big information Chesney will lie about, and then they will.
It's not even withholding. He's just simply lying.
And I know the answer is yes, but I asked you this question yesterday. Can coaches legally lie? That feels wrong.
It's weird. I mean, I guess you can when like Sunbelt play starts, because you got availability reports, and in theory, the Sunbelt could penalize a coach or team if they like actively lie about stuff. But I don't know. He clearly lied when he said that he switched jerseys just like for fun, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, he was cleared last week," which like, of course he was. So I don't know. It's just weird. He's been weird about injuries for a while.
Yeah. So it is realistic he could start, Zach.
Yeah.
Nicholas Freeman, can we get a picture together at the game?
Sure.
We'll let you know where we are. Probably somewhere in GA. Shout out Ryan Rutherford, hooking me up with a ticket.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a guy. You tailgating?
We'll do some sort of tailgating. We'll be there.
All right. Meet me. I'm probably going home that night, so might park in Convo or something and set up a little mini tailgate back there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
If you want to roll through.
Yeah.
All right. Is that genuine, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was a dismissive, yeah. You do that sometimes to me.
No, and then are we swinging by the alumni boys, too?
Oh, yeah, we got to swing by the alumni boys. Sidelines JMU. How do you take your crow, with Duke's mayo or without?
Such a funny tweet.
I'm mad at this tweet for two reasons. One, I laid it out at the beginning, but also, I'm a Duke's mayo guy, ride or die.
Yeah, Duke's mayo, for sure. I also, I enjoyed this one in general because I went back to see if Sidelines was like a Alonzo Barnett truther or something, where they were saying all along that they were ready to go. And I don't know, because I scrolled through his feed. It's just like AI generated images of Chesney. I'm like, what's going on here, man? Give me some takes. I want some of his outlandish takes instead of this. Like, here's what AI thinks of what Dave Riggert would look like.
AI has gotten out of hand.
It's crazy.
Rom H Tonis. I think this is another. I think it's another troll account. At real Rom from 60. Maybe not. Maybe it is. No, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be. Has to be a troll account. Also asked, can we get a picture together at the game? Sure, Rom H. Tonis.
Sure, man.
Joey Needham asked. JMU Hater didn't ask a question.
Damn, that's disappointing.
Man. Joey Needham asked, I think Sluka starts, but does Alonza get playing time? Also, what's your take on the uniforms for this week? We didn't even bring up the uniforms. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, so
I like them.
Sluka, first do Sluka. Sluka, AB3. You're just avoiding the biggest question out there. I like them. Next question. Sure, I think your guess is as good as mine on who starts between Sluka and AB3 and Cam. Like, I truly do not know. There's no indication given, and it's the first time I feel this unsure about a QB battle going into the season. Gold pants, really cool. Awesome to see JMU finally leaning back into the gold part of their purple and gold branding. Felt like they were trying to make white work. We all know our thoughts on black. That black jersey was bad. It's why we lost the App State game, those dang black jerseys.
The gray ones are also cursed.
Oh, the gray ones are...
Maybe they just need to play better. The gray ones are ugly, though.
Maybe they shouldn't suck. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
We got multiple cursed colors at this point.
But like, it is cool to see them going back to purple, because I feel like purple has not been like a actual part of the team colors in like years now. Yeah,
the purple, the gold, it looks good. It looks cool.
Did I say purple? I meant gold.
Yeah, I was questioning you a little bit, and I was like, hey, he doesn't have enough purple, I guess.
I meant gold. I meant gold.
Where purple was. Every week.
Except for that week they wore black.
That's right.
And they lost to App State, and the lawsuit fell through, Bennett. Gosh.
That's true. What a wild time. Yeah, I like the gold coming back in. I don't know. The uniforms aren't that big of a deal to me. Like, you kind of wear whatever. I think they're usually cool. I haven't hated many except for, like, the gray. The gray with, like, the Virginia, like, map of Virginia State kind of thing was really stupid.
You know what's interesting to me? Middle Tennessee State was just like, we're just having an away jersey and a home jersey, no like changes, and it saved them nearly $700,000 to then invest into the team. Interesting that JMU's like, what if we get more jerseys? So,
yeah, I think that's stupid. I would just keep going with the color schemes.
Like, it is interesting, like that approach. Just an interesting thing to keep in mind in this revenue sharing NIL era, how jerseys are used as maybe a recruiting tactic and other things along those lines. Before we get up on out of here, women's soccer update, men's soccer update. Ginny Lackey's still looking good. How are the Sockers looking over there, old Beacon?
They're all doing their best, which is something that I like to see. Men's soccer off to a slow start. I think they're 0-2. They haven't updated it on their website. They don't want to put that Gardner Webb loss in there quite yet from Sunday. Maybe by the end of the week. They play Rutgers on Friday. We'll see if they can bounce back. Women's soccer, yeah, they're fine. They're 2-1-1, off to a decent start. They have one tough loss to Georgetown, 4-0. But they get William & Mary on Thursday. Volleyball starts up here soon. So we got some stuff coming, which is exciting. And of course, we're excited to talk ball. We're excited to talk football. We're excited to be there Saturday in Bridgeport.
Heck yeah. All right. For Bennett Conlon, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Anything? We got a little burp. You gotta add?
No, I mean, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. I always want to say that at the beginning, and then I forget.
You're doing
we're building out our subscribers, and then I guess this isn't really like an Easter egg because it's just something I'm saying. But there's the support from the subscribers, the likes on the videos. They actually do help. I feel like we built our audience pretty significantly, and we haven't said this yet. But if your boys want some credentials this year, sounds like we're going to be able to get them. So we're making some strides, which is largely due to our significant audience size more than anything else.
That was a really Bennett way of saying thank you for following along with everything as we embark on season 8 of covering JMU football through the podcast.
Wow.
Is it? We were 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes, season 8.
Season 8. We're going to need to get one of those medical waivers soon, which are hard to come by.
Apparently, Alonza probably wouldn't have been able to get one, according to people who never asked. All right, for Bennett Conlon, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Thank you all so much for listening, for subscribing, doing all of that. If you subscribe to the JMU Sports News podcast feed now, you'll never miss an episode of this podcast, which drops in the middle of every week, or To the House, featuring Vad Lee, huge addition to the House crew, and JMU Football Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce. That's coming at you every Monday night, maybe Tuesday morning. If it continues taking 2 hours to export, might be Tuesday mornings, depending. But regardless, subscribe to the JMU Sports News podcast feed to never miss an episode of the JMU Sports News podcast, and To the House, featuring Vad Lee and JMU Football Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce. And if you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/JMU Sports News. Any little bit helps. 1 coffee, 5 coffees, 25 coffees. Regardless, we're so appreciative. We're so thankful for that.
25 burgers, 25 fries, 25 coffees.
That scared me so bad because your face wasn't moving on the recording. Oh, man. That scared the mess out of me because your face was just this. And then all of a sudden, I just hear your voice being thrown. That didn't even sound like your voice. I thought someone had, walked into the basement down here. All right, yeah. Thank you so much. See you next week.